We welcome all of the country for the cleanup act of our quadruple header, along with Spencer Tillman and our new sideline commentator, Josh Sims.
Yay!
Tim Brando, happy to have you with us. Dean Blandino is back at our studios, and he'll be taking care of all the rules, circumstances as usual. Here is E.J. Smith, son of Emmett, ahead for a couple of yards. Call it 3, make it 2nd and 7. Max Williams, number 4, coming up from free safety, makes the stop. We touched on Caleb, and for those of you just joining us, it only took 3 minutes for him to get Southern California into the end zone. Those are the numbers you see on this youngster, Ashton Daniels, who can beat you with his legs as well as anybody out west.
He's going to need that 12th man to do that, and that's Troy Taylor, his head coach. Inexperience is really the bane of the existence of this group right here, Tim, at that quarterback position. You need a coach like Troy Taylor who understands both aspects of the quarterback spot to nurture him.
Uh-oh, pressure up the middle. There's an interception taken out of the air, and here comes all the way back Max Williams, dragged down inside the 5 at the 4. Late flag coming down, probably unsportsmanlike.
We can barely stand it, Tim. Here's number 90 right here, Bear Alexander. Watch him in that under technique. Arm over, rip through, disrupted, playing on the opposite side of the ball. Ashton has to get that ball out of there quickly.
After the
That's
play,
what this front does. And Altus Grinch, the defensive coordinator, has some tools to work with now.
39-yard return. The Boo Birds for the excessive celebration. As we mentioned, an unsportsmanlike call, which will back them up. I don't know if that's really that good when you're playing SC. You give Caleb Williams more room, he may be more dangerous. But a good call after the celebration in the end zone. But you're right, Spencer. The biggest difference in this USC team is the Bear, the former five-star talent out of Terrell, Texas, Bear Alexander. He's a disruptive force from that zero gap position. Marshawn Lloyd is in the backfield now for the Trojans on 1st and 10. Very important to Bobby April's defense to hold USC, if they can, out of the end zone and force them to kick a field goal, something they don't do often. And there right away is a pickup of 9 by Lloyd, stopped by Bernadelle. Caleb Williams did not take long, as we mentioned, 4 for 4 in the passing game to get his team into the end zone with a 21-yard touchdown run while you were watching the conclusion of Oregon and Texas Tech. Boy, the Pac-12 in their what is likely their final year remains unblemished at last report through the first 2 weeks. Nice. Oh, look at that sidearm sling, huh? Branch is stopped. That one was well defended by Stanford. Great work by Scotty Edwards, the sophomore from Holiday, Utah. 5-yard pickup.
Yeah, Zachariah does a nice job here of getting this ball. But again, Caleb Williams with the sidearm, as you talked about, Tim, was what got it there, right? The ability to execute off platform. That's without structure and order to it. Makes this guy impossible to defend.
In watching their walkthrough yesterday afternoon, I just was amazed at how effortless he makes those throws.
We got to attack the middle of the field here. You got that guy on the hash mark. You got to do a quick slant route. That's automatic.
On 1st and goal.
Get it out.
Right it is. There it is. And a touchdown by Lloyd. In addition to being an outstanding passer, he's also pretty good in zone read concepts, isn't he? That's Lloyd's 2nd touchdown this year.
Tim, I didn't care how they got it. If it was a quick slant or the middle of the field, inside zone, it's about attacking that light box. You see how few people in this area right here? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a fairly light box. Usually there's going to be 7 to 9 guys in that. Then you want to throw the ball outside. It's taking advantage of those numbers. A light box, fewer in that tackle to tackle box.
Lynch for the extra point. It all began on the pick. Once the Bear disrupted things, he runs through double teams. The pressure came. Look at big number 90. Giving way for Max Williams to take it back. The redshirt senior from Sarah High School in Carson, California.
Some people just know there's a pot.
Fox College Football is sponsored by Allstate. You're in good hands. And by Panera. $0 delivery fee for a limited time. Well, off that interception, another touchdown for the Trojans. 14 points and 254. For those of you that joined us late, it doesn't take long for them to have a double-digit lead. That was USC's first interception, period, by the way, since November 26th against Notre Dame, the one that Williams got. Had no picks against either Utah or Tulane last year. Of course, San Jose State and Nevada already this year. They did play week 0 against the Spartans out of the Mountain West Conference. Bryce Farrell is back deep. And he'll once again allow for the touchback. Stay in the game, sponsored by Hampton by Hilton.
Tim,
For the stay.
Yeah, Tim, this is going to make me look like Nostradamus here. We talked about the precision of the quick game. We've seen that on the part of USC. That's how they got those 14 points. Stanford's intended plan would be to steal possessions by sustaining drives, which is the antithesis of what they haven't done. They've not been able to do that, and as a result, Coach Taylor's looking for opportunities here. He's got to somehow sustain a drive long enough, steal possessions, and then score in the process.
1st and 10. Casey Filkins, number 2, has checked in as the lone setback. And he'll carry off the right side, and he is met immediately by Keon Bars out of Murrieta Mesa High School in Murrieta, California.
And Keon was spitting bars on that play, baby. He was singing big time. You saw him come off that edge from that interior position, Tim, and you've seen it earlier with Bear Alexander, number 90, from what we call an under tackle, that just shade off of that nose, and it really gets tough to reach if you're a center. These guys are wreaking havoc up front.
That may be the biggest difference in this year's version of the Trojans. This pass is incomplete. Moody Rubin 0 was the intended receiver. And when we talk about that, the Bear, Alexander, according to Pete Arbogast, who's a play-by-play GM here at USC, I asked him, when was the last time they had a zero technique guy or nose tackle concept that could disrupt any game? And he said, Mike Patterson. You got to go back really to the Pete Carroll era. Patterson was just that, playing in that particular position.
Oh, there's a corner cat blitz. That's nasty.
And there's the tight end, Jurasik, and the big 6'4", 242-pound Bakersfield native. He's going to be about 3 yards shy. 4th down coming up in a punt formation for Stanford.
Yeah, Alex Grinch, the defensive coordinator for the Trojans, have got some new toys on that defensive side. He's using them a little bit. Not much gain there on the part of Stanford, so we're going to see and hopefully highlight some of these assets that he's got. Some nice groceries on this plate he's putting together.
Connor Wesselman will punt it away, averaged 51.9 last week against Hawaii. And here goes Zachariah Branch. Look out. It's going to take more than one to get him down. Yes, that's Cliff Branch's, as they say, part of the family. 38 yards, the punt, a 4-yard return as Zachariah gets the job done. Now time for tonight's game countdown, sponsored by Progressive. Yeah, the mid-season form of the tailgating in keeping with USC's mid-season form offensively.
Deep in my heart, I adore ya. Can't get...
Longtime Wisconsin assistant, now the defensive coordinator for Stanford, Bobby April, trying to match wits with Lincoln Riley right out of the gates in the Pac-12. Not an easy chore. We asked him about the keys, and he said, well, we need to simulate some pressure. We need them to get mad at one another. Them being, of course, USC. And maybe if that happens, a few good things might fall our way. So far, none of it has happened. USC up by 2 scores. And here's Marshawn Lloyd. Ahead on first down up to the 35. A meager gain of 2. So 2nd and 8.
Timmy, you know, that front that he has up there gives him some flexibility. Talking about Bobby April, the DC, for Stanford to get pressure. Just rushing 3 now, so they're playing 8 in the back. Yeah. Still got to be able to defend this.
It's just amazing how wide open these receivers get in this offense of Lincoln Riley's. That's Mario Williams, stopped by Colin Wright, number 6, a gain of 5. So third and very manageable at 3rd and 5.
Yeah, but what you won't see is those big open downfield opportunities because of this cover 2 shell that they're playing. 2 deep safeties, keeping everything underneath them. On that last play, just rushing 3, dropping 8. So you got to take the underneath stuff, which Caleb certainly is adept at doing.
I beg your pardon. It is 3rd down at 3. Empty backfield for Caleb Williams. Gonna let it fly and going deep.
Nice job. That's great defense right there, man.
Mario Williams, step for step with him was Colin Wright. And it's a 4th down and 3 situation. They'll punt it away.
Now, this is a bold move here by this redshirt freshman here, Colin Wright. Great job of, he doesn't identify the ball necessarily, but he understands physiology, where his body needs to be, in between where the ball is, takes a peek up so as to influence the official, so as to not draw that automatic penalty. The guys that are young like this typically don't look back, Tim, and that's always problematic.
Yeah, some jousting, but certainly, in my opinion, allowable. No holding. Fans wanted a flag, didn't get it. Casey Filkins is back deep. Here's the punt from Chapliski, and a fair catch is called for at the 15-yard line. Punt of 45 yards, no return. Underway at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. Fox College Football is sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for more than 150 years. Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman, it's time that Stanford's offense gets something done, partner.
Well, maybe Josh can get him down there, right? Slow him down a little bit.
Well, we've got a difference maker on our team, don't we?
That's right.
Josh Sims has joined us. You've been comfortable watching him on NASCAR. Welcome to college football, Josh.
Well, thanks, guys. It's great to be here. Great to be part of the team with you, and great to be a part of this game. I mean, the fast-paced offense we're seeing down here, it's crazy. Let's see how this thing plays out, guys.
Yeah, let's see if there's some trouble in turn 4 for Stanford here. Ashton Daniels trying to get something accomplished.
Well, Tim, it really has been stay to the left and get back as soon as you can for the men of Troy. They've been outstanding at it. Again, what Bobby April, the defensive coordinator, tried to do is get him the ball back, and he's done his part right now. It's time for Troy Taylor's offense to start controlling the game with that outstanding tight end of his.
See if his confidence has been shaken and the direction that they want to go in offensively. Troy Taylor calls the shots for them as head coach as well as coordinator, and here he goes. That ability on him to get out of the pocket and make something happen, get out ahead for a 1st down, a gain of 10, and move the chains for the first time for Stanford.
Tim, I'd like to keep coming back at that tight end. They clear him out. Right now, they've got Rajon Davis, number 9, covering him.
E.J. Smith, son of Emmett, out of Jesuit College Prep in Dallas, Texas, stopped by Romello Height, number 2, the backup defensive end that's coming on that rush side, formerly of Auburn, transferred over. Now 2nd down, plenty of time, over the middle, but overthrown, intended for Jurasik.
Yeah, that's overthrown, but you know he wants to go to his tight end, understand it, but that particular time they had him double coverage. We talked to Alex Grinch, the defensive coordinator, how he plans to cover this outstanding athletic tight end who's about 6'3", 242. Not the biggest in the world, but he's got great arm reach. And what he said is we may go with the more athletic choice. So far, that's been Rajon Davis. That time, they doubled him up. So a nice little mix-up and change causing the young quarterback some issues.
That was as confident as I've ever seen Grinch in the time we've known him since he worked for Mike Leach at Washington State.
He's got some no players.
Pick almost dropped. It was right in the hands of Kalen Bullock, the junior from Pasadena. He absolutely jumped that route and did everything but intercept it.
Yeah, John Brewer High School, where he went, Tim, understands this guy's athletic. I've been watching him for a long time. He steps in front of that one. He knows he should have had it. He says, man, I needed to get that one back once again. These guys are ready to eat. He's some of the 5 assets that Alex Grinch has added to this stop unit.
Stanford was 7 of 13 on 3rd downs a week ago. They're 0 for 2 tonight. That's a beautiful punt by Wesselman. Backtracking Branch, but look out. You outkick your coverage with this kid, and he'll burn you. He's out to the 35. Marker is down. I mentioned Cliff Branch, an uncle of his, starred, of course, with the Raiders. And then in the earliest days of arena football, Cliff played here over the Los Angeles Sports Arena the last time I saw him. I know he's proud of the youngster.
During the kick, holding receiving team number 17. It's a 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. It'll be USC's ball, first down.
So, Roland Wallace Christian is 17. Not sure if that was the accurate number or not. That was a 62-yard boot, aided now by the penalty. That'll back them up even further inside their own 10.
Well, the coaching note is going to be for this Cardinals special teams is if you get that kind of kick, and you're going to get it from this outstanding punter, you've got to get off blocks. Otherwise, you negate the big foot, right? You've got to get off those blocks so that you can squeeze the field and make a play.
There's 17. I think that's where they flagged them. It wasn't a lot, but it was enough. And Roland Wallace, that's Christian Roland Wallace, backup cornerback, was the guilty party. Austin Jones remains the setback out of the shotgun. Williams lets it fly towards the boundary and complete. Again, outstanding coverage by Colin Wright, number 6. They're going his way quite often, and to this point in man coverage, he's been up to the task.
I think they actually confused Caleb on that particular play. He's consulting, you know, with his center there, and Justin Diedick is the guy that's standing in that spot, communicating to him clearly what he saw. Caleb looked a little bit confused, so we got to see what Bobby April's doing. I got to keep my eye on these safeties.
Diedick is really the leader and center of this team out of Chaparral High School, Temecula, California. Jones again. Austin Jones, a first down past the 20 to the 22. They can get back negative yardage so quickly with this offense. Tristan Sinclair, fifth-year man, making the stop.
Yeah, Sinclair, and on the other side, Colin Wright, number 6. That will bring those safeties down in a hurry.
The bubble screen out to Taj Washington. Among all that weaponry at wide receiver, he really is the most unselfish and the ringleader of that group.
This is the pace and tempo and the quick game, Tim. Getting the ball out to these receivers. All of them so gifted and talented.
First and 10 after the gain of 11.
Nice.
Look at that. Here comes Washington the other way. Getting away from one would-be tackler at midfield. And all the way down inside the 40 to the 37-yard line. That's 28 yards.
And what about the wonderful job of 13 getting downfield? Watching Caleb after the mesh, Tim. He's going to get that ball out there. Watch him turn upfield. Hey, I got to hit somebody. I'm looking for some work. No, I'm not going to hit you. I'm going to just keep going.
Now he goes the other direction to McCree. These are all passing yards, but they're little pitches. It acts really as a running play for USC in many respects. That's the Lincoln Riley way from the Mike Leach air raid attack, and that's where he tutored, as many of you know. And of course, it's hard to get away from Mike Leach in conversation, and God bless him and his entire family. We lost him during the offseason, as you know. Marshawn Lloyd in the backfield on 2nd and 2. There he goes. No one to stop him. Touchdown, Trojans.
There's a flag. I think it's going to be a flag now.
Got a marker down back at the 18. Our referee is Mark Duddy. Our replay official tonight is Jack Wood.
During the run, holding offense number 9. This is a 10-yard penalty. After enforcement, it'll be USC's ball, 1st and 10.
That's Michael Jackson, number 9, the veteran wide receiver. Had the jersey, the shoulder pads of Alaki'i Gilman, the strong safety. And it was flagged. 1st and 10 for USC. Lloyd again the setback.
Nice feet.
Oh, boy. Look at those short, choppy steps. Gets it down to the 20. Well, mark him at the 21. Lance Kennelly making the stop.
Look at those feet. Look at these feet here. Watch him hopping around. Marshawn did a wonderful job of just sifting and finding some space in that void in there. And so elusive, man. So many gifted players here. Like little old Joe Washington back in the olden days. Man. Quick feet.
Lloyd came from the other USC, that being South Carolina as a transfer. 2nd down and 6. Which fans here think there are no other USCs. Little outlet to Jones, and Austin Jones in space gets it down to the 18. About 3 yards shy of a first down. Colin Wright getting a workout tonight, making the stop for Stanford. They got a break on that holding call, but can they keep USC out of the end zone? That's the tight end, McCree. First and goal inside the 10 at the 6.
And that was a pretty good guy chasing him, too. David Bailey, he's the guy that they'll move all around on that front. And he's about the only one most athletic to be able to catch any of these guys that are up front for USC. Got him in his hindsight, and he stacked him. Tim was able to get out of there.
That Stanford D, Spencer, has got to be winded already. They've been out there a lot. They've played a lot of plays. They're going to need some help from their offense, at least to get a few first downs and give them a breather. First and goal.
Man, I'd come off the edge in this blitz package. There you go.
That's Jones.
That's good job.
And you're right. Run support was really good right there for Stanford. Pickup of 3. Stop made by Bernadelle.
Bobby April showed this kind of man-to-man concept, but he had a safety that was stacked right on top of that slot guy that allowed the slot man to move inside, and he's doing a wonderful job of minimizing the leakage right now because of all the athleticism on this Trojan offense.
He was the first guy in the portal he saw, and he couldn't wait to pick him up. This is USC's 25th play of the first quarter, the 11th of this drive. Branch comes over into the slot, now gives motion. He'll take it. Going for the corner.
I think he's going to be short.
Yep, just outside the pylon. Pushed out by Scotty Edwards, the free safety.
Great job of Caleb Williams being the 12th man on that one. He didn't need Lincoln Riley to tell him to bring that formation down, create a more of a closed look so that he can have the edges free. And what does that mean? That means you force Stanford to come inside close so you can use your speed to advantage to the perimeter. All things being equal, this elite athletic team should be able to beat you to the edge.
Jones checks back in. Third and goal from the 1. Reese Robinson, 19, has come to the bottom of your screen, flank wide. Jones. Mr. Jones has been pretty active. His 3rd touchdown this year. This Trojan outfit is a well-oiled offensive machine here at the outset of this season.
They've got a thing going on, Timmy. Mr. Jones in for the score. Nice job of lowering that head down, and he violated. They're so good, Timmy, they don't have to be the low man and still win. Stanford defender got his pads underneath him, and Mr. Jones still got in there to score.
Lynch for the extra point. It's perfect. And this USC offense has been as close to perfect as one could expect.
Especially the rushing game. That's where all three touchdowns have come via the run.
Yep. And the band plays on. Star of stage screen and videos by Fleetwood Mac. The USC marching band. Caleb is 11 of 13 for 114 yards. But he's allowed them to get in the end zone, though, through the rushing game, as you mentioned.
He does a wonderful job of using the rush against Stanford. Takes his time and is judicious, then lowers his shoulders. On that one play, you saw all 3 phases and aspects of his personality. Taking advantage of turnovers as well, and then securing the football. The captain gets it into the end zone for a score. And right now, they've got to find a way, does Stanford, to get out of this funk that they're in offensively.
Look at that. They got backed up after the penalty on the punt. 93 yards they go, and it didn't seem like it was 93. They made 93 look like a short field, didn't they? Farrell this time will bring it from his 1.
Ooh, doctor.
Bryce Farrell ducks under and is down just shy of the 30-yard line. And we have come to the end of 1. And to say that it's been all USC would be a harsh understatement. Cardinal will meet in conclave at the end of period number 1. Try to come up with something, maybe some divine guidance.
There's a little smoke from the chimney over there.
Lost Medicaid or CHIP?
21-0, number 6 USC out early. Pacific Life Game Summary, sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for more than 150 years. And you're pretty secure with these kinds of numbers, Spencer.
Well, those numbers look impressive for one of the guys on that chart. And Caleb Williams has done a fantastic job of taking what this Bobby April defense has given him in this cover 2 look. That meant that most of those receptions were maybe for 5 yards initially, that they turned into extra yards.
Daniels.
Nice defense.
Indeed. Great work by Max Williams, who had the earlier interception to set up a quick touchdown with a short field.
Yeah, along with Kalen Bullock and Eric Gentry, just one of the assets that Lincoln Riley now has at his disposal to work with. And these guys are confident, Tim. They don't see dropping 2 final games that leave us with that negative impression like what happened last year. This group is talented, but the question is, how talented are they? Are they enough to be contenders?
That one's on the ground. It may be a loose ball. I don't believe that was a pass. They haven't ruled it either way at this stage. It's Solomon Byrd who got through there, and Daniels is down. He's hurt. Levi Rogers seems to have recovered, the center for Stanford, but Ashton Daniels is down.
And that's going to leave him with Justin Lamson. But you can see here, bending around that corner on the outside with the edge and getting the hand in there.
Very fortunate that the center was in the position he was. Great work defensively that time by Solomon Byrd. The Wyoming transfer making that play. Good to see Ashton making his way under most of his own power, headed into the tent. Josh Sims taking a close look. Hope to hear from him shortly. Here's that hit again from Solomon Byrd. And again, it was ruled a fumble and was recovered, fortunately, by the center, Levi Rogers. Enter Justin Lamson, the Syracuse transfer, thought to be the better passer, and he was in the race for the starting job up until the final day, Floyd Taylor told us. And a quick handoff to Casey Felkins for negative yardage, and guess who? Solomon Byrd one more time.
They've wound Solomon up, man, and you've seen a little bit of wisdom from him, not being taken in from that inside read. And with that 4-man front, Alex Gritch has got these guys dialed in and ready to stop.
You just wanted to get Wilcox's Twitter handle in, didn't you? Solomon's wisdom.
That's my man, Solly.
Zachariah Branch goes back deep to await this punt from Wesselman, who's getting a workout tonight. And that Stanford defense is just, they got to be sucking some air at this stage. They've been on the field a long time, and here comes Zachariah.
Wow.
How about a grapevine or a branch for you? Flag down, touchdown.
And unfortunately, Tim, this is going to come back after Branch had made it through all of the traffic. Unnecessary. Let him run. This guy can outrun him. He's got everybody in his hip pocket. So disappointing.
Yep. He may be the best since Hester. Really.
Devin Hester,
might be the best since
call.
Devin Hester. Helmet came off. It might be that. Question would be, did it happen after the touchdown?
Is a touchdown.
Yeah, post touchdown.
Personal foul. The kicking team, participation without a helmet. It's a 15-yard penalty, which will be enforced on the kickoff.
Oh, bad goes to worse for Stanford.
Well, safety is a primary issue here, and anybody participating out of courage or something else less than courage got to be reminded you can't play this game without a helmet on. But great job of stemming the coverage unit and then understanding how people coverage, Tim. And that's a lot of things that instinctive return men just kind of have naturally. They know how you're supposed to cover.
I don't know why you punt to him. I think any punt needs to be towards the boundary. That's what Nevada did a week ago. Of course, USC still found a way to score a lot of points, but at least it wasn't Branch on either a kick or a punt return. Oh, Zachariah. He's a freshman, but he plays like a grizzled veteran. Ow! USC by a bundle in the second quarter.
Geico makes car insurance.
Fox College Football is sponsored by Geico. It's easy to Geico, and by Mazda. The venerable Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. First stadium to host the Summer Olympics twice. Coming back in 28, and the score is 28-0.
Timmy, I still
USC
have
with the lead.
one of those red, white, and blue warm-up uniforms. Classic for the 84
From
Olympics.
the 84 games?
I still got it, man.
By the way, this is the 100th anniversary year of the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. So throughout the course of the night, we'll be paying some homage to its history, and it's steep. You cannot come into this building and not feel it. And they've done such great work in renovating the infrastructure to make it that much more enjoyable for the viewer. Josh Sims, our sideline reporter, has more on the Ashton Daniels injury.
Yeah, keeping an eye on Ashton Daniels. He went into the tent for a little bit. He came back out, threw the ball on the side for a bit. Then they came over, tried to rip it out. He was favoring that right arm, came over to the sideline, but it looked like Lamson was the one warming up, not Daniel right now. So we'll see who comes out for this one. It looks like Daniel going back to the sidelines, guys.
Yeah, I will tell you that based on the way this game has gone, Spencer, the confidence level of Daniels in the throw game has not been there. Lamson might be the answer here. Thought to be the better passer of the two. Ryan Butler is checked into the game at running back. Now splits out wide to the bottom of your screen. And here goes Lamson on a designed quarterback run into that area of the field towards the boundary. And that's Zion Branch making that stop. The free safety.
You see Shane 3 come through there, number as well, Tim. Number 53, he's in the mix. A lot of those guys right there are outstanding. They're able to get in there and make plays like that. Bryson Shaw, and others.
That was actually Bryson Shaw that made the play rather than Zion, who does come in for Shaw from time to time.
Nice
blitz, and they nailed him with the backside pressure, and it disrupted the play. That was Tackett Curtis, the outstanding young Will linebacker who was all everything at tiny Manny High School, a Friday night Lightstown about 30 miles south of our place.
You can see him stacked behind that edge rusher, and he comes, man, hell-bent for election. Nice job of getting in there and disguising his intentions. You can see the aggressiveness. Of course, he got bounced in the first half of the last game and had to sit out a half, but this guy is unbelievably gifted.
They might believe. In fact, it was Alex Grinch that said he might be the best freshman linebacker in the country. E.J. Smith and Ryan Butler in the backfield. Lamson lets it fly. It is caught. That's John Humphreys, number 5, a senior from Newport Beach, with Christian Roland Wallace, 17, in hot pursuit.
Now, if they can get Jurasic going too with the tight end and with ex-receiver John Humphreys, they've got some things to work with. You've got your better passer in the game right now. Pace and tempo's your friend. Let's see if they can convert.
31 yards the pickup, their best play of the night by far.
Nice, good job.
That's loose.
I don't know if he got that hand forward.
He did not. That's recovered by USC just like that. Tackett Curtis with the hit, knocking it free. The recovery, I beg your pardon, is Tackett Curtis, and it is their ball. He was trying to go back with the forward pass, and they may check it, but this looked like a fumble to me. Yep.
Well, his definitely arm was going back. He was getting ready to go for it, but Tackett Curtis, 2 of the last 3 plays, he's been outstanding, showing you athleticism to affect the passer in this particular case right here, giving the Trojans another opportunity on the offensive side of the ball. The pressure coming from the backside, Tim, you can see it was frequent and consistent. That's one thing that we've seen. Jamal Muhammad on the rush in on that far side was involved in the pressure as well.
Yeah, Jamil with the strip, a redshirt senior from Madison, Alabama. Speaking of, Texas went into T-Town and got a big win tonight. The game played earlier. We may be seeing a seminal moment in the transfer of power in college football in 2023.
No question.
Williams going for the back shoulder. No comeback maneuver that time.
Yeah, Zabron
Dorian Singer was the intended receiver.
Jerron Manley was the cover corner on that side, Tim. He tried to reach back and just got a little bit too handsy.
How many times does that happen to a DB, Spencer, when the ball is either a back shoulder throw or maybe thrown a little behind the receiver?
Well, again, it happens a lot, Tim, but if it's a stop route, it's so difficult to defend because the ball is coming out no matter what. The only person to know when the ball is going and where it's going is the quarterback and the receiver. That defender has to respond to what they do.
During the play,
but if it's a timing,
fouls on both teams. The down will be replayed. Pass interference, offense, personal foul, face mask, defense. Again, these fouls offset, replay, first down.
Spencer, I think that happened by the same two men. I think clearly the face mask was true, but I think the offensive pass interference had happened prior to that. I think we saw it all, the two discrepancies between those two individuals. Marshawn Lloyd back in the game with first down. See the total yard story, all USC.
this is the 12th man right here. This is all Lincoln Riley getting them into a boundary-oriented play. Nice.
All right, in the seam, Taj Washington. Another first down inside the 35 to the 34.
So when you hear me say boundary-oriented play, it's all just the short side of the field. And what Lincoln is trying to do is make them overplay the wide numbers and taking advantage of a matchup. Nice job.
They'll shovel right out to Taj Washington again. And the shoestring tackle is made, or is it? Finally, a bevy of Cardinal come to help out as he was about to shred that shoestring stop, a 15-yard gain.
But Tim, you know, I always ask offensive coordinators, and of course I've known this about Lincoln Riley. He is a formula and feel guy. He loves analytics. He loves to study numbers and tendencies. But once he gets into the groove like he is right now, he's feeling this real time. He is the true 12th man. He's calling it, getting Caleb Williams into the design play that he wants him to get into based on what the coverage is.
And the one thing Lincoln's been missing, both when his days at Oklahoma and college football playoff situations and here at USC trying to get to the CFP, a defense. He may have that ship righted this year. Underneath to Branch. And he's pulled down at the 19-yard line by Alunkney Gilman.
Well, one thing about Bobby April, the defensive coordinator for Stanford, he's making them earn every bit of it, right? Everything has been underneath that particular play, rushing 3, dropping 8. It makes it really difficult to push the ball downfield. And remember, this is a formidable defensive front that they have. Bobby's got some tools to work with up front.
Second down and 8. They go trips to the top of your screen. Tyron Hudson's in the middle of that. They love to share the ball. He's not been targeted yet. And Caleb is looking for just about anybody. This is where he really is devastating when he starts becoming a maestro. Look out. There it is. Touchdown. Dorian Singer singing his own tune.
Yeah, that's just too long for Mitch Lieber, number 32 on the back end. That's the weakness of this Stanford unit. It doesn't matter how effective you are up front. That was a 5-on-3 matchup. In other words, 5 offensive linemen for the Trojans blocking only 3 rush men for Stanford. Much too much time available. Mitch Lieber on the back end can't defend the ball that long. Excellent throw by Caleb Williams.
And again, this is when he's most devastating, Spencer, is when he's got that extra time. And the way he can elude oncoming rushers is just amazing. It's like pick your poison with these guys, and the worst possible thing you could do is give him more time. And that's what he got right there. Yes, he is the maestro, pulling all the strings. Caleb Williams trying to make history to be a Heisman winner again.
Coming up on the State Farm halftime, Texas looking for revenge in Tuscaloosa. Coach Prime remains on top of the college football world, and Oregon tries to avoid the upset versus Texas Tech. Spencer, Tim, how do you do? Back to you.
Yeah, we do just fine, Acho, and I know you do too. After that Texas highlight that I know will be coming your way at halftime, the former Longhorn, he and his brother.
Oh, man.
I know they're excited. Mike Hill's a little under the weather. We wish the Sarge well.
Yeah, that Texas team, man, I think the tide has shifted formally. The student beat the teacher on that one.
Yeah, and by the way, the two teams that I think a lot of people had some doubts about in the preseason, including yours truly, Texas and USC, I think they have manufactured themselves a strength in what used to be a negative. How about that, Spence?
Yes, a nice job of him staying alive as long as he could, but Mitch Liebertim couldn't stay in the coverage. That's the downside of having a three-man rush. Even if you're dropping 8, and you got 5 guys that are able defenders up there blocking for you, 3 men can't get to the quarterback. Not this one anyway.
Yeah, and he throws it so well, even if it's off the wrong foot. I mean, he's just got a cannon in his repertoire. 35-0 our score. Still plenty of time remaining here in the first half. And here goes E.J. Smith. And the son of Emmett out for a quality gain. Gets it past the 45-yard line. That's Jalen Smith, number 19, shoving him out. They'll give him 19 yards and a first down.
Well, they got a couple of good running backs. E.J. is the one I thought, he was going to end up starting, but they've got a couple other guys. Ryan Butler is the youngster in the group, Timmy.
Filkins will also.
Casey Filkins is another one that's back there that can play well.
Cedric Irvin, a freshman out of Miami, who might also get some playing time tonight. Right now it's Smith. A lone setback, and they go under center this time.
There's a tight end.
And there he is, Jurasic. They've always had him here at Stanford. Known for great offensive linemen and magnificent tight ends through the years.
Well, I'm telling you, Timmy, you're talking about guys that are coming from depth. That's Bryson Shaw from that free safety position, number 27. Looking like Ronnie Lott coming down there, man, with some force. I'm telling you, he came strong.
Only one catch for Jurasic so far, but you can bet he'll be thrown a few more. He had 9 receptions for 138 yards last week. Here's Lamson getting away from pressure. Really well done, and he slides in safely for the first down at the 44-yard line of USC, a gain of 9.
How about Justin here, understanding where he is? He gets those laces turned around and then pulls it down and then gets as much as he possibly can. Ran into his own lineman there, trying to get those guys out of the way. Wonderful job of understanding where he is on the football field. A nice little slide, too, man.
Yeah, I realize it's already 35-0, okay, but Troy Taylor's got a lot to learn about his team, and you can bet with the cumulative APR rating of this Stanford team, that's a smart group. They're going to continue to play hard and play at their absolute level best the rest of the way. Lamson's pass is batted down.
Guess who?
Is that the Bear?
Guess who?
That was the Bear. Boy, he can disrupt things, can he? He is something special, this guy.
Yeah, when the Bear's doing that, he's either saying tip or pay me the money, right?
Well, you were talking about the groceries that Alex Grinch, the defensive coordinator, has. Well, he's had a few picnic baskets picked up tonight.
Well,
that young man is on a feeding frenzy.
Money, baby, money.
Little OJ's money. Jet sweep to Smith. Look out. EJ looking for a payday. And he's down inside the 15.
He's running like he knows his daddy's in the house, and he is, man. I'll tell you what, that's a nice little effort right there. And I think more important than anything else, the design play to get him in that, running away from the numbers. Nice ride in motion, kind of reminiscent of the old wishbone, and where you ride and mesh, and then you give that thing off and let 22 do it.
He has 48 yards on this drive alone. 29 on that carry. Had 19 earlier. A total of 52 on the evening.
It's a nice little run right there, man.
We were on hand during his recruiting visit, you might recall, at the close of the 2019 season when Notre Dame came to town.
Yeah, he's battled injuries, but he's come back again with some intentionality.
Lamson running option. Oh, how about the passing quarterback using his legs on this drive?
Yeah, and here's the thing about the option. You never give up on it. You know, when you break through that first section, you got to understand you're dealing with some tremendous elite athletes on that defense. That pitch relationship between that back is still there. I mean, I used to love running that with Jamel Holloway and even with Troy Aikman back in the day. Alex Grinch knows how to defend it. He's got some assets that helps him, Tim, but that quarterback has got to be mindful. Once you get touched, that pitch back is still there. If you're getting hit, that means the numbers are in your favor. Deal that ball on the perimeter, even if it's in the short side of the field. That's what makes it beautiful.
Second down and 5. By far and away their best drive. Lamson thrown a little behind his receiver, who was well covered. That's Alec Iomanner, number 13. Sierra Wright, number 22, there in coverage.
Yeah, the redshirt sophomore stuck that hand in there, and it's just great defensive work right here. Again, he's got that arm over the top, maybe one on the backside, but Made it look as clean as possible. Great man coverage.
3rd down and 5.
Here's one thing that Troy Taylor does. He knows so many different formations, and he understands these kids have the aptitude to adopt what he's trying to do. They're going to show them a lot of different looks here. You may even see some wing T.
3rd down and 5. Low snap. Flags down prior to the snap. Should be a false start against Standford.
False start. Offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Logan Berzins, number 77, guilty.
And I think they got Connor McLaughlin, the number 71, the right tackle on that one.
You're right, it was 71. Rather than Berzins, I beg your pardon.
And you can see him, or here he is right here, Tim. You can see he's got a little tight end attached to him, and that's one of the reasons why he does it, because he has a man on his outside shoulder, and there's not clear communication. Those tackles are used to having no one outside of him, but he had a tight end outside of him. Confuses responsibility.
3rd and 10. That's Smith in motion. He'll stay back now. Help out with blocking as Lamson lets it fly in the corner. Incomplete. Pass for Humphreys well over his head. And it'll be 4th down, and they're going to go for a field goal here. Try to get some points. Alex Wrench's defense stiffens, and that'll bring Joshua Carty, who they have great confidence in. And they should. I mean, he's kicked a 61-yarder in his career. This one will only be 33. Wesselman will hold. And the marker comes flying down.
Tim, I know they're going to get Logan
False start.
Berzins on this.
Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Yep, it was Logan all right. And that'll back him up, turn it into a 38-yard boot.
And I'm not so sure that was a legitimate call. I mean, he moved, but he was just basically getting set in his position.
At this stage, Stanford just happy to get a little rest for their defense and hopefully some points to come out of it.
Easy.
Now they're very confident in this young man's ability to kick the football. Anytime they get it past the 40-yard line, Troy Taylor thinks they're going to absolutely get 3, if nothing else. So a quality drive ends with 6:57 remaining in the half. It's 35-3. Fox College Football is sponsored by Jersey Mike's Subs. Be a sub above. Believe it or not, it was actually called the AFL-NFL Championship game, not the Super Bowl, on January 15th of 1967. Max McGee was the star of that game on the receiving end from Bart Starr, and Andrew Luck has made his way to the sidelines tonight. Good to see him again.
Yep, from a Maxwell Award winner, and there's Tyreek Hill, too. How about that one? Tyreek Hill, there's some speed there, man.
Yeah, they're in to take on the Chargers tomorrow, the Dolphins. Here's the kick. Back for a touchback. Well, Spencer, you made reference to your athletic past a moment ago. And you know, it's been 40 years. I'm happy to report it's color television on September 10th, 1983, almost exactly 40 years ago.
Toledo.
Oh, Spencer Tillman made his college debut at Stanford. He was on the farm. He had 17 carries for 95 yards. Look at those short, choppy steps. And boy, is he elusive. 95 yards. The Sooners won it 27-24.
Oh, man, how odd was that looking? I was sitting there 205 blocking for Marcus Dupree at fullback. Jiminy.
Austin Jones in the backfield, and here goes Caleb Williams. Go deep, young man, and why not? Touchdown, Brendan Rice.
Jiminy.
You notice how well-timed that look back was? We wanted to marry you up to a touchdown play that was pretty dynamic.
Well, I like the fact I played with his daddy, right? Yeah. Here's Brendan Rice right here, looking like his pop on a little shake route. Actually, it's a go, man. He gets on top of this one, just outruns everybody. One of the many assets in this just talent-laden receiving field for the Trojans. Outstanding job. JR, your boy's looking good tonight, my man. Wow, 75 yards.
Hamilton High School, Chandler, Arizona, and the Colorado transfer. Speaking of teams making a pretty good transition, we started our quadruple hitter day with Coach Prime and the Buffs taking care of business at Folsom Field. And now the Colorado transfer gets it into the end zone. That was almost too wide open and too much time to think about reeling it in. He almost let that one go.
Well, you know, one thing he has, at least on that play right there, is this awareness. His eyes would kind of remind me of his dad. His dad ran so functionally well, showing you some of that nice athleticism, but again, concentration. When that ball's up there, it can feel like it's an eternity, Tim. But Caleb Williams knows he's got some sure-handed guys on the other end of that. None more sure with the legacy than Brendan Rice has with his pops, Jerry Rice. I'll be with Jerry and Joe Montana coming up in a couple of weeks down in Las Vegas.
Absolutely.
Got a couple of things going on down that way.
It's great to be with them at your recent Lombardi Awards just a few years back.
Yep.
Seeing those guys and what teammates. My partner was the other captain of the third team. That teams was what he was in charge of for that 1990 49ers team that demolished the Denver Broncos. He walked out there with Watt and Montana. What a moment that had to be. Another touchback as Farrell takes a lead. Big Noon Saturday kicks off yet again on Fox. Another great one. Drew Aller, what an outstanding young quarterback he is. And Nicholas Singleton leads 7th-ranked Penn State in a showdown against Illinois. It all starts with the Big Noon kickoff pregame show. That's live from Boulder next Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, followed by Big Noon Saturday on Fox. I think at some point, Deion's agent might be in touch with Fox.
You think?
Why not stay with the Buffaloes for the pregame? What a remarkable story he's been, and didn't happen to a guy that deserves it anymore. He is born to coach, just like he was born to play all those sports. Farrell trying to cut it back in, and does. Picks up 3. That's Solomon Byrd. We'll give him 2 instead.
Tim, one more note about our friend Deion, who both of us obviously we know is greatly misunderstood. But I think in the coming weeks, the attention he's going to garner with his success, people are going to understand why he is the way that he is and what impact he's going to have on the game. And it transcends the white lines of a football field to behind society's lines of scrimmage. And I'm waiting on tiptoes of anticipation for that story to unfold.
Ryan Butler is checked back into the game. It's 2nd and 7. And here goes Jurasik again, looking to make it to the chains. I think he's about a yard shy of a first down. He picks up 6.
Yeah, and they need to get him unchained, right, and get him up the field moving vertically. There's been a couple of times when they didn't throw to him when they had Y-seam, which is a staple of Stanford with the tight ends. Again, this is a totally different offensive scheme than what David Shaw was running. Of course, John Harbaugh and David Shaw were the only 2 faces in the last 17 years that we've seen as head coaches at the institution. So that power style was kind of entrenched in what they do. Now this is more multiple. See a little bit of everything.
3rd down, a yard. And a marker comes in late again.
Yeah.
Stanford's only completed 3 passes tonight. They're 3 for 12 as a team. Of course, it was a miserable start for Ashton Daniels before his injury. Lamson did have the quality drive that led to a field goal. 3rd and 1 becoming 3rd and 6 is kind of a big deal.
Defense, number 90.
Oh, defense
signals
delays the game.
Designed to cause the offense to false start. 5-yard penalty.
So they're going to get Rajon Davis, number 9, the linebacker, and that's a freebie first down.
Trying to induce an offensive penalty there.
Yep. Oh, he doesn't like it. Lincoln's upset about it.
He's riled up, man.
He's saying, look, if they want to stem, maybe we can. Pre-snap movement by the defense, and Lamson again forges ahead to the 43-yard line for a gain of 4.
Whatever it was, he got Lincoln a little.
Yeah, I've never seen him like that.
He was like a lit fuse, man, racing to a point to explode. Look at it. Yeah, he's coaching, though, man. That's what you do.
To whom much is given, much is expected, and he believes these officials were given this assignment. He expects a lot. Smith in the backfield again. Lamson, a quick out, incomplete. Throwing towards John Humphreys again into the boundary. And third down at 6 coming up. He's 1 out of 6.
Yeah, Christian Roland.
7 Daniels on third down. And here we are with another third down.
Christian Roland Wallace defending on that last play. And again, they're searching for answers right here at Stanford, trying to find something that's going to work. They've tried to work the inside of the field, had something going with the throw game a little bit. Kind of backed off of that.
Daniels going into the locker room early. 3rd and 6. Tell you, Lamson has surprised USC a little with his decisions to run. He's going to be 2 yards shy of a first down here, but they do have good field position, and the game is already out of hand. So why not have 4-down territory?
Yeah, Alex Grinch is looking at this. He says, hey, if they're going to run this quarterback, man, we're going to put a hat on him and spy him a little bit more, because I guarantee you he's regarded as the better passer, but yet he's running the ball very effective as well. They may put a hat on him and try to discourage him from running the ball.
Well, they've decided, it looks like, to think better of it. They're going to punt it away. A late decision by the staff. Connor Wilson will punt it away with Zachariah Branch. I mean, I get it to a certain extent. They went 93 yards in about a minute and a half. That's a good punt, and it was angled so that Zachariah would not get a touch. It goes in for a touchback. Only one of 2 players in FBS with both a kick return and a punt return for touchdown this year. That kid is special. His kickoff return in the first game USC played looked eerily similar to number 5 against Fresno State in a game you and I were watching on the East Coast late in the evening in New York City. It was a pretty amazing thing to see, the angles that he was able to take. Well, the cutback capability.
Any great return man is kind of like a quarterback. You understand coverages, and like a quarterback understands defenses. And when you're able to get people stacked, it's as a result of you knowing what the responsibility of those defenders as they come down those lanes are. And he is very adept at that. You could tell it in his running style where he sets things up.
Williams still in there, and he's going to go
push off
towards the corner. That's Singer again. Dorian Singer, Arizona transfer out of St. Paul, Minnesota, with another big catch.
Watch him push off here. And again, it's just a nice job. Saber Manley, the left cornerback, can't really do anything about this. It's a timing route. He's throwing it to a space, into an area. Understands about 12, 15 yards. That thing is going to break. It's up in the air. Man-on-man coverage. Guy just went up and high pointed that one and took it away. Excellent job.
Shows the physical capability of these wide receivers too, doesn't it?
And it shows the instinct. Again, you have so many, you often wonder, will the chemistry exist with each of those players? The system dictates that it will.
Marshawn Lloyd out ahead for the first down. The air that he puts underneath this with the ease, Spencer, is what I like.
Yeah, the previous pass, it looks effortless. Again, the little mesh is just token. But again, this little step, throw it, nice little lofted up there. He knows it. Man, just looking like he's a little short 7-foot putt, Tim. He's leaning a little bit. Puts right in the cup.
Emmanuel Acho and Chris Peterson are standing by for halftime. Bruce Feldman's also with them. State Farm halftime show coming up shortly. And you know, Chris Peterson had a lot to do with the career of Troy Taylor. I know he has some feelings of empathy right now for what he's going through. And there goes Marshawn Lloyd. Look out! Boy, he had one man to beat, really. And Scotty Edwards, the free safety, able to run him down. 25 yards.
Well, everything about this play was beautiful, including the instincts of the runner. I want you to watch this bounce move. Again, running away from pressure. And as you said, Scotty gets in the trail, but watch him place this ball in the other arm. Boom, switch it. Now that right arm is free. He doesn't use it to really fend Scotty off, but it's just an excellent job of being aware of where the pursuit is coming from so as to not expose that ball to being potentially stripped out.
A plethora of weaponry for this USC offense. And just about everybody with the numeral on is going to be targeted by Caleb Williams. exponentially better than he was even a year ago. Lloyd stopped in his tracks. Here's that previous run, Spence.
Well, its ability to use those choppy feet, as you referred to. Watched him. Your balance is kept and maintained. When the feet are choppy, they're not really stretching and overextending the shoulders. When you do that, you can make those side steps, kind of like Barry Sanders used to be able to do. Now, he's not built like Barry Sanders. You don't have to get squat and low. But if you keep your feet within the framework of your shoulders, when you do move left or right, it's true. That means you're going to come out of that with as enough burst and speed as you would as if you're standing from a three-point stand. So that combined with his instincts and natural talents makes him a very excellent inside runner.
2nd and 9. Out of the shotgun. Lloyd back there with him, and
nice.
Here he goes again. Just a quick burst, hanging on for dear life. The Standford defense, Spencer Jorgensen, big special teams guy, backup linebacker out of Provo, Utah with the stuff.
See, not only is he fleet of foot, this is a will linebacker. This is an inside guy, right? About 20, 30 pounds heavier than he is. Sticks that right arm in there and then shoves it with a little extra measure and intentionality on the back end. Tim, that kid right there's got some talent, man. It's got some attitude, too.
I mean, we could be looking at we will be looking at over 400 yards. There you see
There's
the
Cliff.
Offensive analyst, Cliff Kingsbury. Interesting, he was headed to USC before he got the Arizona Cardinals job. Came up to us after the walkthrough yesterday and said a little less pressure in this gig than he had with the Cardinals. But we talked about Leach and the impact that he's had on so many coaches, not just offensive, by the way. The late Mike Leach. A lot of defensive coaches owe their careers to him as well, including Grinch, who was he really made his name at Washington State working for Mike Leach before he was hired at Oklahoma by Lincoln Riley.
Well, he's got a great mind, and there's only a few guys out there that can run this type of scheme like he does. There's a handful of guys, about 8 guys in the country that understands this scheme like he does, and he's got some great talent.
Third down and 5 coming up. Stanford hoping as best they can to get a stop here. Well, 1 more yard and they'll have 400 in the first 30 minutes of this game. USC.
They got him in this 3 look. The middle of the field's open, Tim, if they want to attack that little skinny post.
I misspoke. They actually got up to 418 on that last play. Scotty Alexander with the quick fix. Our content coordinator.
Nice.
Right up, take a look at that. Right to Kyron Hudson. And you knew it was only a matter of time, right, before Kyron got involved. Youngster out of Mater Dei with a 14-yard gain. And they're on the precipice of another touchdown.
Yep, sidearm, cursory little flip of the wrist on the outside there.
Caleb dumps it off to McCree. He's free. Touchdown. That's the 7th different Trojan to catch a pass in the first half. It's just almost unfair, isn't it? I mean, that's almost unfair. 7 touchdowns by 7 different Trojans.
Well, 14 different receivers caught passes last week. Is this the kind of night that it is, Tim? They have so many different weapons and not enough people to defend them here for the Cardinals.
That kind of night. Oh, what a night. I believe that was a Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons song. Well, it's one of those kind of nights here at the L.A. Memorial Coliseum. Oh, poor Bobby April. We feel your pain. It is almost unfair, Coach. This is just an arsenal from an offensive standpoint that I don't think even Lincoln Riley's seen. And that's saying something. Well, okay, I mean, he's had some great offenses.
They're planning on moving ahead to the next phase of this fine institution's destiny with some intentionality, man. You can clearly see that. They want to make an impact. Disappointed with the Tulane Utah loss in last season. They needed to turn some things around, and boy, are they doing it in a big way now.
And the most comforting thing for him, I'm sure, is that Grinch now, as you mentioned in our meetings and at our walkthrough yesterday, he's got some guys with groceries that can do some things defensively. And when you've got an offense that is this elite, you don't have to be great defensively. You just need to be better. And they are better. E.J. Smith with the return. On down at the 14. Time winding down. Just an amazing first half. Just keep on spreading that pill around, right?
Well, they did it so effectively on the outside. A little run pass option again. Caleb had the ability to run it or throw it. He throws it. Let the receivers do the hard work. Found the end zone frequently. Concentration by Rice there on that play. It didn't matter if they went down the field vertically, horizontally. The run game, we've talked about that ad nauseum. They have every aspect of this offense covered right now, which makes it so tough for any defense to cover all the assets here, Tim.
And it will end on a tackle for loss against Smith by another Smith, Jalen Smith. I'd say that deserves a standing ovation, don't you? That first half performance. Let's get you to Emmanuel Acho, Chris Peterson, and Bruce Feldman, the State Farm halftime show. Fellas, it's late, but how do you do? Picturesque afternoon turned evening here at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Everyone anticipating from the pier and beyond, and boy, have they delivered. It has been an offensive display that, very frankly, in all my years of doing this, over 30 minutes of any half, Spencer, I've never seen. Now, I know Stanford is rebuilding, brand new coach, all that. Yep. But what USC did was borderline unfair. I mean, everything clicking.
That was an anatomy to the success, though, and it came when Lincoln Riley understood that the slant go route, this is where the inside route comes in, 3 steps, and then get vertical on this one. This is Brandon Rice's excellent job of running the route that his dad made so popular. The sluggo, slant go. Again, trying to defend it is virtually impossible. Jaden Slocum on the back end gets lulled into that first step, and then on top of it, the concentration to finish it by Rice on the back end. The thing that I love about it is patience is a virtue. You had to wait to this because everything up until this point was about 5-6 yards, getting the ball in the hands of those receivers and letting them do something after the catch. Now that patience paid off with the home run shot, 75 yards worth. To that point, Tim, the longest one had been 34. So again, patience making a big difference.
I think you may have seen Lincoln Riley there while you were going over those snapshots, talking to Miller Moss as if to say, yeah, it's your turn. You need to start warming up. We may be closing the books on Caleb Williams quickly, and what a night it would be even if it stopped now. Last time USC had 400+ yards in the first half was week 9 against Cal back in 2016. So it's been a minute, even by USC standards.
Well, this night and this season so far has reminded me of the trajectory that Kyler Murray had at Oklahoma the year he won it. It started off in a similar way.
Let's go down to Josh Sims. Josh?
Well, yeah, guys, and I caught up with Lincoln Riley going into the half, and he said that's the half you like to see. They spread the ball around. They scored early and often, and they forced turnovers. All phases of the game, this team is clicking right now. He said don't expect to see a lot of Caleb Williams in the second half because of the score. Now, on the other sideline for Troy Taylor, he said, hey, look, we just got to keep fighting. We got to treat this game like it's 0-0. Go out there and do what we can. He said he saw some great things from Justin Lamson out there. He said, I have all the confidence in the world in this young quarterback.
As you might expect, that's the only attitude to have. Lamson remains in the game and gets out ahead for 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7 as Stanford opens play here in the second half.
That's such a great take by Josh and again and Coach Troy, understanding exactly what is best for your team. A lot of times you got young teams. Lincoln Riley doesn't have to deal with this now. He's got embarrassment of riches, but the coach across the way from him has to understand, and he does understand this. Those young players need what is best for them, not necessarily what they want.
Well, he wanted to visit with us in person last night, and he did, and we certainly appreciate that. Bryce Farrell takes it ahead. Jalen Smith with the stop. His story is amazing, and Josh only had a chance to touch on it very briefly in our truncated open. But when you think about Lincoln Riley's counterpart tonight, Troy Taylor, we're talking about a guy that 7 years ago was coaching high school and then came from Sacramento State to this position. And there are so many influences in his life. I loved it when you tried to get him to categorize what his offense was. And he says, well, we're an offense that likes to do a lot of things.
Yep.
And
he
he's
didn't want to
hoping they can do something now.
He didn't want to commit to that first 15. He said, hey, are you a formula or a field guy? He says, no, I'm a field guy. I said, no, not F-I-E-L-D, but F-E-E-L.
Yeah.
And he kind of backed up a little bit, and he said, oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. So the idea, what he's expressing is that I do whatever's necessary. He's not going to script the plays. He's going to feel what he sees in the pregame warm-ups and what his quarterbacks are able to do based on what's happening in the game. And that tells you that he's really the type of coach that can succeed in this new system.
Unfortunately, he came up short on third down, and Lincoln is still hopping mad.
He's coaching, man. He's the Heisman people were here earlier today, Tim, looking at Caleb, no doubt. But
their first of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Quick timeout was taken, I think, just because he wanted to make a point to his team. A lot of times the worst thing that can happen to a football team as it relates to the coach is that you get this big of a lead, because the only thing he's going to see are the negative things. He's seeing something he does not like, and he's going to let people aware of it.
Well, you know, he doesn't have to win in the margins, but every great coach knows it's those small things that will destroy a team quicker than anything else, particularly when you're on top of things. He's doing exactly what every great coach needs to do.
I think it was just the special teams a little late getting out there.
Yep. Hey.
And Michael Jackson, who's now gone back to receive, I think that's what had him upset and called the timeout as a result. Man. So here's Wesselman ready to boot it away. He gets it off at his 21. Jackson waits at his 21. Keep coming. And Michael Jackson the third up to the 29. A return of 9 after a punt of 48 yards. And we will see Miller Moss, the redshirt sophomore from Los Angeles, when we return, so we can close the book on Caleb tonight. Fox College Football is sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. And by Dos Equis. Get a dose. Enjoy responsibly. Home to Super Bowl 7 as well. We close the book on Caleb Williams this year. 9 quarters, 25 drives, 18 for touchdowns. I'd say he's been pretty efficient, wouldn't you?
So efficient with the throw game, and he didn't get the yards rushing that I thought he would tonight. Maybe you're saving that for kind of a crescendo at the end of the year. Don't have to do it.
Well, he did go 21 yards for a touchdown on Fox Business.
And doubled his total to this point this year, which was 40 yards going into the
right. We came on, and the score was already 7-0, and it was like the tote board on a telethon. It wouldn't stop. Kept calling them up. And there he is chatting with Cliff Kingsbury. Quentin Joyner is now coming to the backfield. Moss this year is 12 of 17 for 197 yards.
He's a pure pocket passer, and the book on him coming out was he was compared to Drew Brees. You know, great quick release, very high IQ from the quarterback position. I like everything about his game, and I think that's one of the reasons why we're seeing him in here early. As Cliff looks on with his star pupil, and it's a lot of intellectual capital right there, man.
Yep. Miller's already graduated from USC, is pursuing his master's in finance. Who knows, maybe he can get a hold of Caleb as a client. As he makes his move, Quentin Joyner stopped by Anthony Franklin. Yeah, you can make a case that Caleb has sort of become the Neon Dion of players in college athletics. From an NIL standpoint, he was already a rock star.
Yep.
Now you add the Heisman deal with that, throw in a few Dr. Peppers and Wendy's commercials, and he's getting more airtime than Matt Leinart. 4th and 3. Punt time. Zapleski with the rarity of punting the football. That's a fair catch by Casey Filkins. Stanford will have it when we return. 49 yards on that boot. Jersey Mike's college football tailgate tour is here in Los Angeles. Download the Jersey Mike's app and place your order tonight. And the big guy from the home office made an appearance.
And I want to have a number 42 Mike's way.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah.
The El Segundo Little League team who got the walk-off home run against Curacao in the Little League World Series. World Series champions. Our congratulations to them. How much it had to mean. And I've had the good fortune of calling a Little League World Series. It is something special. People in South Williamsport do an incredible job. Casey Filkins, look out. Casey Filkins filling the hole, picking them up, putting them down. Let's see. He's inside the 30 and shoved out at the 26. Ushered out by Kalen Bullock.
Bullock wasn't falling for that little head nod, but Casey was hauling, man. He was getting after the little choppy steps. He's going through there, and he finds it, does a nice job of ripping through that first line of defenders. And somebody needs to coach him up, put that hand on the other ball, right? And he can fend him off with that right hand if he just does that. Switches it over.
His Christian McCaffrey impression there. As you like to say, running with intentionality and some strength in there. McCaffrey's number 5 is filled in the slot position there, and they give it to Filkins one more time. He forges ahead to the 21 of USC, stopped by Bryson Shaw. What a very active free safety, number 27.
Yeah, what a great job by Levi Rogers there as Alex Grinch looks on. And, you know, he did a nice job on that man sitting over that nose tackle spot. You know, Bear comes out, but Levi Rogers, the center, number 57, with an unbelievable takedown block, man. They're still fighting.
Yeah, didn't take much time for Grinch to get the Bear back in there, did it?
Nope.
Number 90 is right over him in that zero technique. And in this option look, Lamson is stopped behind the line of scrimmage this time.
And that's twice they've run the option into the boundary, and it didn't matter which quarterback was in. They had a reluctance to pitch it, and I think that's just a function of the multiple sets that they run, Tim. You can't get excellent at anything when you do so much of what they do. So again, that's something you got to do with reps, high reps, again and again and again.
No one reps more than Troy Taylor. He told us upwards of 130 reps a day, and they do it within the rules set forth by the NCAA.
Oh, nice job outside. You got plenty of work with.
Yeah. Here he goes. Tuck it and run it. And what a hit. That was a big-time hit by Kalen Bullock again. And a flag comes down simultaneously in the end zone. Could have either interference or holding against USC.
Yeah, Kalen Bullock was the next guy able to stop this. And again, a little helmet-to-helmet there.
Holding, defense, number 19. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Still flying around and tapping them out there, Timmy.
The call was holding, and it was in the end zone. So this will march the defense backward inside the 10. They'll mark it between the 8 and the 7-yard line.
And I think you're going to see Alex Grinch's defense try to bear down, and ultimately you're going to see Lincoln Riley get even more dialed up because he doesn't want to show any backwards motion whatsoever with the progress this team has made.
Well, they know what's ahead. The schedule gets beefy after next week's game against Sacramento State.
Didn't block, controlled.
Yarosik is in there, and there he takes it down inside the 2 before being ushered out of bounds. Oh, they call touchdown. They're going to say he got in. He got in. He stretched for the pylon. They gave the indication of touchdown. Now they're moving it back. So I think he went up, but then he decided to peel it back. I didn't think he made it in real time. I thought he was ushered out just shy of the 1. Yeah, right there. He was definitely out of bounds. He reached for the pylon, and one of the officials, a back judge, I think, there he is. You see the line judge goes up with the hands. Jake Jolivet, our producer, on top of it, and
Yard line. It'll be second down at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, no need to stem the tide with replay over that. You could tell very easily he was out of bounds.
Or whatever it was, a great blocking by Sam Roush, the tight end, and Alex Grinch is trying to figure out how his guys get manhandled out there. And that's the guy he's talking to right there.
Jalen Smith.
And he had the penalty on it as well, so you got held and got blocked out of your space. Well, that Sam Roush, number 86, did an unbelievable job of blocking him on the edge in that last play.
Second and goal. They go empty.
The left guard moved.
Back him up. They were adjusting Ryan Butler over into the slot, and you're right. The left guard move.
Offense, number 61, 5-yard penalty, second down.
That is the 4th false start for Stanford. That's not a stat you want to see. More rushing yards than receiving yards for Benjamin Urasic.
Well, clearly, we made the point that he was their best asset offensively, and then USC, Alex Grinch team, they did a wonderful job of shutting him down.
They did. Now they move the tight end Roush over with Urasic. And there goes Butler. And boy, there's the bear. He got wrapped up by the bear.
You know, the bear was initially being double teamed, but when he came off that double team and it became mano a mano, he was going to win that battle, man. You know, there's an old physics lesson: speed and quickness equals force with the mass. When you put it in there and you put all those 3 things together, speed and quickness plus mass equals force. And Bear just showed you the example right there what it means, man.
Lincoln said he stayed in the film room with a lot of the skill guys.
Oh, yeah. You don't see
He's
guys
a film
doing that.
junkie, you know, and that really impressed him. 3rd and goal. Twin tight end look. Little rollout, throw or pass for Lampson. And he's going to be pushed out of bounds. Good run support from Bryson Shaw, who is having quite a game tonight. 4th and goal.
Tell you what, Bryson Shaw, that free safety man, came up and delivered some wood on that particular play. And if you're a quarterback, you got to protect yourself, man, because that shot right there, watch 27 come downhill and read and react to this. When the flow, the counter goes the opposite direction, and watch him. He knows the sideline is his friend. He's going to sell himself and his body to make sure that quarterback doesn't get in the end zone. Great effort.
Look at the splits on this formation. Moody Rubin, number 0, down at the bottom of your screen. Out of the gun, 4th down. Now Butler comes back to help. There's the look in, and it is incomplete. Urasic, the intended receiver. And broken up by guess who? Kalen Bullock again. Outstanding defense there. And the Trojans take over on downs. That's a pure defensive play right there. Caleb Williams all smiles, high-fiving, low-fiving. And the GQ spread wasn't bad either. There's not a good situation. The truth is, his dad says he can come back to school. Caleb's dad, Carl Williams, on his son entering the NFL draft. I guess that does not bode well for the family Bidwell in Arizona.
Oh, my. Times have changed, haven't they?
Yeah, times have changed. I'm assuming. They've had a few first. They've had. I'm not assessing their preseason prognostication. Don't get me wrong, but they've had a few through the years. The most recent being Kyler Murray.
Music was playing, distracting the players. We'll ask the PA to turn off the music when the teams come to the line.
Oh, we have a music problem. Wow. So wait a minute. They can't play Tusk? The USC marching band can't play Tusk? Well, we got a music critic as our referee tonight. I think it was the disc jockey that he was concerned with. I always go after the DJs, the speakers from the disc jockeys. That pass was caught.
Well, Lincoln sees that as a recruiting encroachment. That's right there. He's like, what? Come on, man. I'm trying to recruit.
Jacoby Lane, 89, made this.
Yeah, Lincoln's got his head bobbing, too.
Yeah, he was. I think he was enjoying the DJ. I'm thinking the DJ must be a friend of Snoop's. Just guessing.
Maybe.
Lane picked up 12, number 89, with his first reception of the night. Quentin Joyner remains the setback. Out of the shotgun, Moss, little bubble screen, incomplete. Dropped by Mario Williams that time.
Yeah, Gilman defending on that play. He got a little short arm that one, at least from the side, Tim. And one thing about this quarterback, he does a nice job of kind of elevating and then bringing back in his ability to deliver the ball at different paces of speed. On those wham routes, on those quick passes like that, it's got to come out hot. but then you'll see him attenuate that on some plays as well, like a pitcher.
Speaking of USC quarterbacks, Jackson Dart had a pretty good day today, the former Trojan quarterback with Ole Miss, leading his team
nice patience.
behind, and there's a nice run by Joyner. He's out to the 28-29, and you're right. He waited for that hole to develop. Tristan Sinclair making the stop.
Oh, this reminds me of I'm going old school on you. Little Edgerrin James, slow to, fast through for 11 yards, Tim. That little hesitation. Watch it again. He reads it, reacts. He's got two guards pulling out in front of him. He waits on him, gets through that hole. That's nice. Slow to, fast through. Edgerrin James.
Beautiful out pattern here that's caught. And it is taken in by Deuce Robinson, who's got a little story behind him. Josh Sims has it.
Yeah, true freshman Deuce Riley plans to be a two-sport athlete here at USC. Not only a star football player, but coming out of high school, a star baseball prospect as well. Told the media earlier this week that he plans to play baseball here at USC as well, and both coaches on board with that.
Deuce Robinson is an outstanding talent, like so many are. And on this football team, and dual sport athletes.
Nice.
Moss into the seam. Going for Deuce yet again, just a bit high. Went up for that one like he was in center field. Colin Wright was there in coverage. You think of USC baseball and you think of Rod Dado and the great teams he had. Freddie Lynn was a star, 3 straight national championships in the 70s.
That's just a great defensive play. Wright going up and climbing the ladder with him to knock that ball out. I mean, he got a full 1.5 feet above the receiver, man. Both of them tried to high point it. That's the thing I like about it. Still playing by the rules of the game.
2nd and 10. Joyner remains the setback.
Nice patience.
Joyner twirled down at the 43-yard line by Bernadette. Well, Stanford, as you probably know, made some news a couple of weeks back. They're going to the Atlantic Coast Conference, the ACC, and they'll join California and SMU. Interesting to note that the revenues derived from going to the ACC will be there for them with the help of SMU, who's decided not to take any of the television revenue whatsoever the first 7 years of their association with the Atlantic Coast Conference.
That's what they call it, Southern Millionaires University.
You think they wanted to get into the so-called P5? I'd say so. Bubble screen underneath. And it's caught by Michael Jackson III, and he works his way out past the 45 to the 47-yard line.
But it is that kind of selflessness, Tim, and I think that's what it is when you think about it, that the game is needed for so long. People that understand what the context of our times are, in order to make relationships work, you got to be willing to bend. And heretofore, I am totally dumbfounded how we got to this position where most people perceive it as chaos, and we have all these bastions of leaders that we call chancellors and presidents that squandered an opportunity to make great decisions.
I call the chaos progress.
Yep, no question about that.
I think the progress means we have some growing pains ahead. That's what we're dealing with. This punt by Czaplicki, a little short, but well covered by USC. Casey Filkins takes it in with a fair catch after a 33-yard boot. The two teams that, by the way, are left, Wazoo and Oregon State. Hey, man, they're holding up the Pac-2.
That's right.
They've already gotten wins tonight. What a show by the drones at halftime. Look at that. Was that a thing of beauty or what?
Nice.
Wow, you guys did great.
49-3 our score. You reach back into the annals of college football history and you think of USC and Stanford. And the great John McKay comes to mind. And, of course, he was a quote monster before we knew what they were, right? Even pre-Steve Spurrier, he was giving great quotes. And, of course, would later coach Tampa Bay in the National Football League at a time of tremendous utility.
Nice.
Here goes E.J. Smith the other way. And he's out to the 30-yard line. This is the 102nd meeting tonight, but John McKay disliked Stanford so much in '72 that he was quoted with this: "I'd like to have beaten them by 2,000 points. They have no class." That led to this cartoon of him, 1,992-point lead, he said, versus USC. Oh, he was vengeful, that man, but a wonderful guy to be around. And I had the good fortune with my calendar to cross paths with John McKay. Perkins has stopped behind the line of scrimmage. I think maybe the one that he's more known for was when he was asked after Tampa Bay lost yet another game in his first season about his team's offensive execution, and he said, yeah, I'd like that. I'd like to see my offense executed. It was pretty porous tonight.
That sounded like an old Dangerfield.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you call me when I have no class? I'll tell you, I'll tell you.
Oh, one for the ages. 64-34, by the way. The record. Only a couple of ties. Overall, USC. Rosick, again, so well defined, and I'm so impressed with both Max Williams and Bryson Shaw. That back end for USC, they're playing with so much more freedom now, Spencer, and I think it's because of the rush ins and the nose. Obviously, Bear Alexander, and if not him, you're seeing some of Keon Barr's 92 and a few of the backups now. But you stabilize that defensive front, they can do a lot of things back there.
And I think Jalen Smith has kind of redeemed himself. You saw Alec Grinch kind of pat him on the backside there. He nosed in there and disrupted that play.
Aiden Flintoff with this punt, and it is taken out of the air and returned by Michael Jackson III. Flag is down. Jackson is on the run. He will score. And we do have the little yellow hanky, as Keith Jackson used to say, back at the 32-yard line of USC. Oh, that little yellow hanky. I believe Keith was calling that game, by the way, you had at Stanford your freshman year.
Was he?
In 83?
Holding, return team number 19. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. USC's ball, first and 10.
It was later, maybe a year or two later in the mud against Texas. Frank Broyles, his old running mate, the Arkansas head coach, turned athletic director, said, look at those pistons for legs that Spencer Tillman's got, Keith.
There's the infraction right there, Tim, and these guys are still fighting and competing, man, trying to play with leverage. There's a takedown. You can see it right there. And just as I was getting ready to give him a little love on the backside, Jalen Smith, the nickel backer, pulls somebody down.
Well, he's getting the attention of the staff. Whether it's good or bad, or maybe indifferent, he's getting their attention.
Tell him that doesn't apply to that publicity rule. It's good or bad, give it to me. That doesn't work here.
Darwin Barlow now is in the backfield. Moss with a play fake to him. And a little comebacker.
Yep.
And it is caught. Is that Robinson? I believe it is. Deuce with the catch, the freshman from Pinnacle High School in Phoenix, Arizona.
Hey, that's a near field throw, even though it's not to the wide side of the field. That's a big boy throw. That's a Drew Brees-esque.
Yeah.
Tight release, a laser. Look at that delivery, man. Woo. That ball's out of there, and it sits on a rope. Outstanding.
Barlow keeps those two hands around the football, but nothing doing. Stanford's forward wall was up to the task that time.
Tim, I remember when he came out of Bishop as a high school student, everybody was talking about how intelligent he was and projecting where he would end up. And certainly, you don't necessarily know if Caleb Williams is going to end up playing quarterback here. Nobody could have anticipated that, but he could be starting for any other team in the nation
Absolutely.
right now.
Ariel Williams stopped in his tracks by Colin Wright on the little flanker screen. Loss of 3. So a very rare 3rd and long. They haven't had many of these tonight. 3rd down and 13. They were on point right from the start. Caleb Williams took it the distance with the first drive on a 21-yard touchdown run, and they never looked back. Well, and that was before we came on the air on Fox. We've come to the end of 3. Trojans making sure the disc jockey has he been the only problem for USC tonight?
Play it again.
Our team comparison sponsored by Modelo, the mark of a fighter. And of course the Trojans fight on as always. Have a total of 492 yards in this one. And I'd say that they put on the brakes just a little bit in the 3rd quarter. And the first down story, they've doubled the output of the Cardinal, leading 49-3.
Well, they say, Tim, the enemy of great is good, and I think that's why we saw Lincoln Riley so upset when players were not making the mark. And That's always a struggle when you're up big time like this. How do you move from good to great?
In the first half, the yardage was 433 to 146. In the third quarter, it was 86 yards for Stanford, only 40 for USC. So
straight up blitz.
Tail of the halves. Miller Moss on the quick out. Little curl towards the boundary, and Deuce Robinson again, who's been his favorite target here in the second half. 2 yards shy of the first down at the 45.
The freshman out of Pinnacle, man, he's got great size on him, Tim. I mean, he's every bit of 6'5 and a half. He may be 6'6", 225, a big body target. Great asset to have on the field. This nice mix of athleticism and height and size.
Boy, Spencer, I think back to the last USC game we called prior to the announcement of Lincoln Riley. We were at Cal for a makeup game during the COVID year.
Yeah, that final game.
And Jackson Dart was still out there. And to think of where he was today, and he had a wonderful performance to bring Ole Miss back against Tulane, the same Tulane team that Linus Pratt, their quarterback, who did not get to play, beat this USC team in the Cotton Bowl. I mean, think about the guys who thought they would be quarterbacks at USC, how good they really are now someplace else. 100+ years at the LA Memorial Coliseum. A pleasure to be here. Fox College Football is sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for more than 150 years. Boy, think of the history. Boy, I would have loved, I was only 3 in 1959, but I would have loved to have seen the Dodgers play in a World Series inside this venerable building. My goodness, that had to be fun.
And she's aged well, too. You know?
Vin Scully on the call. They had just moved here a short time before that from Brooklyn.
And I love how they've increased the amenities here, too, at the same time,
with
keeping the integrity of the place intact.
Lamson lets it fly, and it is caught just shy of the 30. We'll mark it at the 28-yard line.
And Tim, you couldn't help but notice the San Gabriel Mountains behind us before the game started today. It was just one of the most picturesque shots I've seen in a long time.
That was Iomanner, Alec Iomanner with the reception, number 13. Well, our game may be lopsided, Spencer, but there were a lot of close games. Many of them on our air, I might add. That Oregon-Texas Tech game was a world of fun. And there were many others in college football today that will have people talking all week long. Hampson's going to go.
Nice job of setting his feet again.
Yes. But it is a penalty.
Yeah, but they're going to advance that ball up, and he's going to catch that, Tim. And I just love the pocket movement.
Roland Wallace will be guilty. Humphreys was the intended receiver.
Defense, number 17. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Tim, watch the subtle movement again. Stepping up, does Lamson, feeling that pressure. His offensive line is doing a wonderful job, but he slides subtly to his left, takes the shot, and despite that, delivers a dart and allows his player to catch that ball. And I just think it's the awareness. Despite the aggressiveness of Alex French's defense, he's able to keep his poise, and that's kind of what we talked about earlier that he brings to the game.
Out of El Dorado Hills, California, this young man that transferred from Syracuse, I'm impressed with his pocket presence.
Nice.
Beautiful and dropped. I mean, right through the hands of Ryan Butler, the transfer from Princeton. That would have gone for a lot of yardage.
Well, Zion Branch is there sitting at that safety spot, and he just busted his assignment. Number 8 came up. The pressure's there, but you can see number 8 come up, misses the opportunity to make a play on the ball, but he just let that one slide right between his fingers. Got to catch that, my man.
Second down and 10. I can see why this battle between he and Daniels went down to the very last 11th hour before the selection of Daniels as the starter was made. For those of you that maybe joined us late, he was injured in the first half, and he is in street clothes now. It's Cedric Irvin carrying it, number 26.
And Zion Branch defending, too, on that last play, and got his nose in there trying to make up for it.
Cedric's dad was a running back at Michigan State. This freshman from Miami out of Christopher Columbus High School. There's Davis. Hope that young man's going to be okay. It was a very difficult start for him. Couple of INTs
This
that help
is
put them
that
behind
full house backfield right here, Timmy. How about this old school?
Oh, wing T look. Spencer, we saw a lot of that back in the days of Eddie Robinson at Grambling and a lot of high schools. Most high schools in the 70s in the middle part of the country, whether it was the Midwest or the South, were running the wing T formation, and they ran it a lot.
And usually what they used to do, they run it anywhere on the field. But what Stanford likes to do is in short yardage situation, goal line scenarios, that's when you see it pop up. And again, this is some of the vestige to the personnel that was left from the David Shaw era. They still got him in there, man, and it works.
Yeah, he's a mixture of some West Coast every now and then to go along with. We have a problem on the exchange there and that zone read concept. And the ball was fumbled by Lamson, but I think he got back on top of it. You know, earlier today in that Colorado game, Sims of Nebraska just he wouldn't fall on the ball. He kept trying to go back and reach down and pick it up and go. This is what you do when you've lost the football. All court, just get on top of it. If not here, there.
Well, Tim, it's like being in no man's land, and that's an old military term. It means you don't know where the enemy's coming from. And when you put a quarterback in a scenario where he's not used to being in, everything slows down. He's not physically adept at doing what's required, and that's jumping on the football.
Oh, well, boy, that was wide open, wasn't it? Thrown behind. There had to be a mix-up on the route. Moody Rubin was absolutely wide open, and he's looking inside for the ball, and the throw went outside.
And he took a hit, too, here, too, and that affected it perhaps as well. The pressure's coming from the inside rush, and that little love tuck on the back end kind of affected the flight of that path of that ball, and it went errant over to the right shoulder.
Heck of a hit. But he did stand in there and take it. I'm impressed with this young man.
I am, too. Because you know that Alex Grinch's defense is going to, the way they finished the year last year, you know they're going to play at a high level right now. So he's getting their A game.
Only had 6 starts coming into tonight's game and came in relief of Davis. That pass is dropped again. Wow.
Yeah,
Boy, Eilmanner was trying to run before he got the football, and we got a flag down in the backfield.
Yeah, and that's the one thing you got to do. You got to be careful about being too aggressive on the quarterback
Holding
here. Personal foul.
Offense, number 74. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, 4th down.
James Pogerels, the senior, is the guilty party, and here's the drop.
Yep, so again, you got pressure there, and the ball comes out, and it's placed right in his lap.
Climbed on him, as you like to say, right?
Yep, when it climbs on, when you don't pluck the ball out in the air, irrespective of whether it's in your body framework or high above your head, the reason why the coaches want you to do that is if you have to double clutch it, you can. But if you let the nose of that ball hit those pads.
4th and 17. Jackson awaits this punt, and it will sail out of bounds. A little bit off the side of the foot of Flintoff. They're going to mark it way up there around the 15. We getting a little sloop?
No.
Oopie doop. 49-3. Here in Southern California, our Pacific Life game summary sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for more than 150 years. Boy, oh boy, did Caleb run the show tonight.
Boy, you seeing the awareness to be able to flick it, the power to score from inside and put it on the dart and a laser if he needed to, and to launch it up and let Brendan Rice go underneath it and catch it for a touchdown, his first of the year, and quality football there now.
Moss finds his man, the wide open Mario Williams, and he's out to the 30-yard line for a first down. Pick up a 15.
I like that. That's nice. Finding those little soft spots in those zone windows and being able to throw across your body.
3 receptions for 17 yards for him. Mario Williams, not much that time, just a gain of 2. 2nd and 8. That was Lytle, Spencer Lytle with the stop.
He didn't give up on it, did Lytle, that right edge rusher, man. And he just shows you why they have him at that edge position, which is a little bit different. But the reason why he's in that scheme is because of what he does right there, run and chase. That edge position requires that. Again,
they get the ball out of there so very quickly. And they're well down into the depth chart now. Pass caught by Josiah Zamora, number 44. Third down, 2 after the gain of 6. Joyner remains the setback. He's in a little trouble here.
Yep.
A lot of trouble. Stopped back at the 30-yard line. That's Bernadelle. This young man played very, very well while at FIU. And we touched on Bobby April. You know, we haven't mentioned this yet about the young man. I was really impressed with him, the defensive coordinator from Stanford, even though it's been a really tough night tonight. Not a game I'm sure he wants to go back and look at. This is a burn the film type of game. You played with his dad. His dad was a great coach to go with him being a great player. Punt formation coming up. And Filkins in single safety. Fair caught at the 21. That's a 47-yard boot. If you stay this long and you're not a song girl, all right, the song girls are always going to get airtime, right?
Oh, yeah.
But even some fans are going to get some airtime. If you stay this long, we'll give you the airtime.
Patience.
Chasing the Ring, sponsored by K. Celebrate every moment with K. Most Pac-12 championships in this likely final year of the Pac-12. USC with the most by a bunch.
Yep.
UCLA, Washington, and Stanford. There was a period when, from the time Harbaugh was there and David Shaw came in, they were carrying the banner for quite some time, going back to touchdown.
Nice.
Tommy Vardell, and then, of course, you had that time. The pass is caught by Jurasik, and then the Toby Gerhart period as well. And it wasn't that long ago, Spitzer, even with a losing season under David Shaw, they came in and knocked off USC back in 2019 when we were here. It's a 23-yard game.
It's kind of like counter-programming, man. Sometimes if you're tooled up, you're physical, double tight end scenarios, and big Toby Gerhart and those type of players, you can counter-punch exceptionally well with these smaller athletic teams.
Nice curl by Jurasik. I think that's one of his favorite routes and very effective. He's tough in there. That's a kind of an Ertz catch when you think about it.
Yep. Now they found a little soft spot in there. Shane Lee, that inside linebacker, actually he's playing the Mike position. That matchup is one that they like, and it doesn't matter who they put back there. They haven't. That was Anthony Beavers, number 15, who you saw in the mix as well. But Shane Lee was the guy involved in the coverage from the last play, but they've got it successfully to their tight end. They're onto something here.
Alabama transfer, Shane Lee. 45 yards on the last 2 plays, and they get it out to
nice move.
E.J. Smith. Boy, that was a great move. Would make his papa proud there. And he's out for a first down inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. A gain of 11.
Yeah, he does a nice job of putting his foot in the ground, and it's usually when those tight spaces, when you look at those running backs, is when they do exceptionally well. But you got to sink your hips if you're going to explode away from somebody. Great job.
That was a little slippery when it's wet, Spencer. Right there. That back of that jersey was wet. It's an old Cool in the Gang song you might remember from back in the day. Nice. Oh, great defensive work. I mean, just so involved at defense. Eric Gentry, you know, they didn't have him or Mason Cobb. They were happy to get those guys back and involved in the defense. 2 of the guys that really expected the lead for Alex Grinch.
Yeah, that's 2/5 of the assets that we talked about, you know, the grocery list that he's added. Kalen Bullock, Eric Gentry, Mason Cobb, you talked about, Christian Roland Wallace, Bear Alexander. Those are the 5 main ingredients that he's acquired and put into this. Yeah. And he's putting together a pretty good little menu of items here that's starting to look like a nice little dish.
Yeah, Cobb did not play. I should mention Gentry out there. It's a big news for them, and they hope to get Cobb back really soon. Quick out pattern to Humphreys. And that's a first down.
And I think one of the reasons, Tim, you saw Lincoln Riley so animated and so engaged is because he knows what's missing. The offense is going to be great, right? That's his department. He's got with Cliff added on here. He's got so many different ways to improve that part of it. We've seen it here tonight. It's that Alex Grinch defense that's been the question mark here. And, you know, Coach Riley is loyal to his defenders. I remember going and went back to Oklahoma. We thought it was a couple times he was going to pull the trigger there, but he chose rather to stay with his defensive coordinator.
Well, it takes a certain humility for any defensive coordinator to be a part of a team that's going to force you to play as many plays as a Lincoln Riley offense will. That's Jurasik again on the receiving end.
That's a great point. That's a great point. Because if you look at it, the ilk or the quality of defensive-minded guys that will go to a place that they know is going to be pass-oriented, it's not a long list because it's so tough to defend, you know. So that's a great point. But at some point in time, like you and I have discussed, at one point in time, 300 yards given up on offense was a bad thing, but it became nothing.
Yeah, I think now the barometer probably 500.
Yeah.
Long time ago, I say long time ago, feels like yesterday, but back in the early 2000s, he gave up over 300 yards.
You were hemorrhaging.
The alumni was howling. 2nd and 4. And prior to the snap, a timeout taken by Standford.
Stanford, their first of the half. This will
That's
be a
their
full
first timeout. They'll talk it over. Troy Taylor trying to learn as much as he can about his Cardinal from here on in. Fox College Football is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Protect the stuff you love with Renters Insurance. Yes, the 2023 Clash at the Coliseum. They've done it twice now, and will likely do it again. Our friend and board member here at USC, Jacob Ullman, overseeing all that trouble in turn 4 during the course of the year. Josh Sims was on hand for it. Jake Jolivet, that's what he's busy with during our offseason. And there's Jurasik taking it down inside the 5. Burrows ahead to about the 2-yard line.
Jurasik running heavy there, man, showing you he's not giving up.
These are difficult times for the team that's behind, but as we mentioned, the coaching staff on the team that's ahead, players can't stand it because they know in the central, can we get this game over?
That's right.
Because all they're seeing are the missed plays, breakdowns when they happen. Smith the setback. And there's a little play fake, marker down, and Lamson reaches in. I think he pierced the end zone for the touchdown, but we've got a flag, so hold everything.
Well, they may bring this one back, but
offense, number 58. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, first down.
Tim, it's this late motion, this late stem. Alec Bank, number 58, the right tackle. He's the one that stems down. You can see him go down in the formation after USC moves. But this is a great job. Quarterback low on his shoulder, getting in there.
Yeah, he did. He's played tough since coming into the game. Yeah, that's a takedown. No doubt about that. And then a pancake after the takedown. Stayed on top of it. First and goal.
Nice.
One more time, Lamson's going to tote it. And he gets it down to about the 3 before being stopped, and a late flag comes in.
Well, they're going to be pinching themselves, man, because at some point in time, that middle is going to stiffen up. And they're not going to have that design quarterback draw available to them.
Foul, targeting, defense, number 24. This penalty is now under replay review.
Well, that's not what you want to see late in a game, which means you're going to miss that. If it's upheld, it's going to cost you the first half of the next game. I'm not so sure.
Well, Christian Pierce, you know, he came with that forearm, though, Tim. Watch his forearm. He delivers the forearm to the head area.
Yeah. All they need is an attack above the chin strap. We haven't heard from Dean Blandino. Poor man's been sitting there all night waiting for us to throw it to him. And on a night like tonight, Dean, trust me, Dean, on a night like tonight, I've never been happier to throw it to you. Now he's ready. Dean, I know you've been waiting with bated breath, so we need you here. Go ahead.
You guys, the only reason I'm still here was waiting to talk to you guys. Finally. They're looking at targeting. The key is we're talking about a ball carrier, not a defenseless player. So in order for this to be a defenseless player, he has to clearly be on the ground. Almost think of it as a late hit. To me, he's not clearly on the ground when the contact occurs. That means the only kind of type of targeting we can have is with the crown. To me, this looks like the shoulder, and this is not targeting in my view.
I agree with you.
That's a great distinction there.
There is
In real
no foul
time.
for targeting. Number 24 can stay in the game. Second
Yes.
down.
And Dino has been proven to be accurate yet again. He waited a long time, but he's still undefeated with us, Blandino. So it is not targeting. It's second and goal.
Well, the protection goes away if he's a runner. And again, Dino cleared that up. That little nuance is so important, Timmy.
Well, that's good news because I think a player being penalized a half of football when you consider how very little these guys really get to play at the collegiate level for all that they do to prepare themselves to play. Very penal.
Wing T, a little push action going on.
Lampson burrowing ahead. That's a scrum. I think it's going to come up a little bit short. So it'll be third and goal.
I think they may line up and get another Stanford push here.
Well, you know USC would love to keep him out of the end zone. You're not going to have a shutout, but you would love to say you did not give up a touchdown. Alex Grinch, I'm sure, is trying to channel his inner John McKay into his defense.
You know, I really like his approach. I mean, listen, I wasn't necessarily bullish, but what I've seen and witnessed in terms of how he thinks about defense now that he's got some tools to work with, I'm impressed with what he's doing.
From the one. There's that push you were talking about. I don't think he did. Touchdown. He got in. Long last, the Cardinals score, and it's Justin Lampson with the honors.
I really love this formation, Tim, because when you get three guys across the board, you don't know it. There's no established strength, that is to say right or left. They can go either way. So it's almost impossible to discern if he got through or not. But, man, I'm telling you.
I think at some point you must be thinking.
There the ball is, though. You can see it. The ball's down there. He got through.
He did. It's a whole lot of, as you like to say, sifting. You have to sift through a lot of derriere to find out where the ball is if you're the official.
Review it.
Joshua Purdy for the extra point. Are they going to review this, really? Boy, if I had that red-eye flight to catch, I'd be a little upset.
You'd be done.
Yeah, I would. I would be.
Been done. Stick a fork in him.
Instead, I decided to opt for the early morning flight tomorrow.
That was wise. Well, Lincoln's still coaching. We can say that.
Yeah,
he's engaged.
He wanted a total denial and a shutout in terms of the end zone. He did not want to give up any points
USC
other than
is
field
taking
goal.
their second timeout to challenge the ruling of the field of a touchdown. The play is now under replay review.
I'm a little surprised by that. I am.
Well, you know what?
I mean, the game is out of hand. It's been out of hand since well before halftime.
Well, one thing
but I
sure.
get the point. He's trying to support his defense. Hey, guys, you've been criticized.
You're not going to establish any bad blood.
Yeah.
You're not going to play these guys.
No, I know. And I don't have a red eye to catch, so I'm good.
I mean, this is the last Stanford Pac-12 opener.
By the way,
the ball, it's in.
I got to tell you, I really enjoyed our chat with Lincoln. It had been a while since we had seen him. And he commented to us about the transition. I really did want to know what's it been like for he and his family.
It's in.
You know, and he said, part of where we're living is great. Our kids love it.
The anonymity?
He loves the anonymity. That's right. In L.A., you're not nearly the big deal that you'd be in Norman as a head football
The
coach.
ruling of the field of a touchdown stands. USC has charged their second timeout. USC has no more challenges left
he says,
during the game.
He's going to challenge.
You know, everybody blends in L.A. And if you do go out to eat, and he clearly does on occasion,
you're just a guy, man.
You're just one of the guys.
You're just another guy.
Yeah. If he shows up and Will Ferrell's in the building, Will's probably going to get noticed.
Yeah, but he's going to get second.
A little bit more. Now, we do have to work on some of the pronunciations for Caleb. Caleb Williams has a podcast, and he called Will Ferrell Ferrell with his teammates. He was quickly.
He wasn't happy about that, was he?
No, his teammates quickly told him it's Ferrell.
Yeah.
As opposed to the wonderful singer that once did The Voice. It's not Pharrell.
Yes.
He's Pharaoh.
And he's funny.
And he's funny. That's right. How about the overtime games today, Spence?
Oh, man.
North Carolina survives again against App State. Houston, who we'll see next week at home, they were down 28-0, fought back to tie it. But the old USC quarterback and West Virginia quarterback, JT Daniels, engineers the Rice Owls to a 43-41 double OT win. Fresno State and Eastern Washington go into double OT. And man, oh man, a big win for the Mountain West champions of a year ago, minus Jay Hayner. Now with the New Orleans Saints and suspended for a period of time. They went on to win, and saw a lot of great games that went into overtime through the course of today. Now we touched on Caleb's. See if they work on their onside game here. But Caleb's podcast was fun to watch. I took a look at it right away. And maybe it's because of the support of his defense. You know, he knows what the criticisms were, and it was of his defense. He supported them on his pod.
We're all tired of the defensive talk and all of that, because they're our brothers. This is our team. And disrespecting, whether it's the coaches, disrespecting the players. That's on defense. We're all tired of it. Whether we're actually, a couple of us are here on offense, those are our brothers, and we like to protect our brothers.
I like that, the Almost Pro podcast. He is
almost pro.
Almost pro.
It helps to have options these days.
Yes, it does. There's that little out pitch to Josiah Zamora. It's his second catch of the evening.
And Colin Wright played that well, man. And these guys are still playing the game at a high level, playing it inside out. There's Caleb there.
Nice run by Amarian Peterson. Katie Ryan, the sports information director, replaced Tim Tessalone down there with Caleb. You think she's going to be a little busy organizing his plight as a publicist through the course of this season as the reigning Heisman winner?
She's a wily veteran, man. She's been here for 11 years, and she's earned her chops.
Trained by the great Tim Tessalone. I'll never forget my first trip here to talk to Rodney Peete back in '88. Tim was with me there, and the great Mark Dellins, who's also retired over at UCLA, had your guy Troy Aikman that year. All thinking that they would win the Heisman, and this guy named Barry Sanders came along and ended that conversation. As Peterson one more time.
Did you get your swag that Katie brought?
I did. That was very nice of them.
Cool?
Yes.
In from Jennifer Cohen, the new AD.
The new athletic director. That's right. Who came from Washington, by the way. Joe Levette wants to know about swag. I'm still waiting on that 2023 Fox football cap, aren't you?
That's right.
Yeah.
I complimented him on that big lid he had on the other day.
When you bring that to our next dinner, you'll get some of my USC swag.
Oh, doctor.
Oh, boy, that was his... What a catch. What a throw and what a catch by Deuce Robinson. And again, from the seat of his pants, Miller got rid of it. Pretty good hit. That's a 34-yard gain, warding off this kind of pressure, and it was big-time pressure.
And it was quality pressure. It was the type of pressure that's legal. And what you're looking for, that Zach Bucky, I think it was, it got in his face, man. I mean, just laid that helmet right in the middle of his breastplate, and he stood in there and took it.
First and 10 from the 22.
Nice fade ball.
Yeah, beautiful fade ball, and it is dropped. Boy, that could have been caught. Now, flag comes down late. He did not turn his head around, and I can sense that might be the reason why we have Jacoby Lane, the intended receiver, 89. But watch what happens here from a defensive standpoint. There's no face guarding. defensively, but Manley just never checked the ball flat.
Here's where the quarterback.
Second down.
Here's where the quarterback can help a receiver.
Oh, they waved it off.
A receiver that fights so much for that inside leverage. Tim has got a 5 to 7 yard cushion between himself and the boundary. You throw him open.
Now that's the reason why they picked the flag up. There is no face guarding, and that was really, I guess, the only thing that happened there. There's Barlow trying to get near the first down. He may be about 3 yards shy, a gain of 7. I want to thank our tremendous crew that we had a chance to visit with last night. Many of them based here in Los Angeles. Andrew Wolf, who went to the archives to find that video of you, Spencer.
How about that? That was great.
40 years ago.
That was a great get for him.
Brett Elder, our new BA, along with Josh Franz. Our USC grad, Brett Elder. And there is a touchdown for Miller Moss. Well, you know, he played the entire second half. You got to figure that Lincoln wanted to see number 7 get him 7, if at all possible. 6 so far with a point to follow.
Well, given his DNA, it's no mystery they hung a half 100 on him, Timmy.
Oh, that's a beautiful, yeah. The derriere was not on the green grass. Recognizing that, he hit it. Now, this is the 3rd straight game now with 50-plus points for USC. I'd say they're off to a tremendous start. Opened the season scoring 56 against San Jose, 66 last week against Nevada. Last time they opened the season scoring 50-plus in the first 2 games, 2015. There you see the first 6 games. But here comes the gauntlet at the end. And by the way, Colorado, that won't be as easy as you thought. But the last 6 is where that gauntlet really picks up. Notre Dame, and by the way, with their transfer quarterback from Wake Forest, I'd say that is an offense to be reckoned with. Utah, which has been a real problem spot for them recently. Washington and Oregon, all teams that are in the top 15. And, of course, the Bruins, who are still being heard from as well under Chip Kelly. And they have a score to settle after that track meet between Caleb Williams and Dorian Thompson-Robinson last year.
Well, the upside of that schedule, Tim, is that no team is going to be in a better position to have a more competent argument that they should they navigate it safely and without any blemishes in the national championship.
Yeah, absolutely. Farrell takes the kick. He's spun down at the 25-yard line. The NFL regular season kicks off tomorrow on Fox. A huge doubleheader. We mentioned Christian McCaffrey, former Stanford star. He and his 49ers take on the Steelers. Other regional action then. In America's Game of the Week, Jordan Love leads the Packers against Justin Fields and the Bears. Or the Rams battle the Seahawks. It all kicks off tomorrow on Fox. He was the AP Player of the Year, Heisman runner-up, Christian McCaffrey. Boy, he found the right home, didn't he, when he left Carolina?
Oh, he sure did.
To get to San Francisco.
Yep, he's that switchblade that they needed in the backfield for him. He can do a lot of different things. Catch the ball, no question.
Without a doubt. It was a real pleasure to get to follow him. And I joined Fox in 2014. He was a stalwart with that team.
Nice.
Right away, Cedric Irvin. And he pops free for a big game into USC territory. Spencer, we touched on what we have next week. Houston, you know, blowing that, going out 28-0 and having to come back, tie it, and then lose. And they get a tough TCU team rebounding from their Colorado loss today. And you know how badly the Horned Frogs want to right their ship. We'll have that one for you next week on Fox.
Yeah, with Dana Holgerson and the Cougars changing addresses, you want them to be strong, and we wanted them to be strong.
That'll be the first Big 12 game this time around for Houston. They were part of the old Southwest Conference, you'll recall, with Bill Yeoman and the Veer offense back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
When Joe Montana beat them in the Cotton Bowl.
You remember that was a 79?
League. Yep, 79 season. With the great Lindsey Nelson calling the game, and Paul Horning, remember it well.
Now the ball's out.
Oh, it's all out. Almost picked up and then picked up again. Is that 15 finally on top of it? Anthony Beavers Jr. He comes away with it. Christian Roland Wallace tried to pick it up. And now Alex Grinch can settle down and smile a little bit.
Yeah, the redshirt sophomore ends up coming up with it, the little mesh, and then the disruption on the back end of the field. And you know, guys getting blocked into you, that's what's always the culprit in those situations, Tim. And got to have your head up and mindful of it. 3 points of pressure on the football to secure it.
Really want to say thank you to Josh Sims for being with us tonight.
What a great addition.
Great news for us to have him with us through the season on our games here on Fox. And that'll do it. Trojans move to 3-0. And they're going to continue to play the pinball wizard with the scoreboard, it would appear. 56 points tonight after 66 a week ago. And Troy Taylor, better times are ahead. I feel good about their future, short-term and long-term.
I echo your sentiments. It's going to be fun to watch him once he gets all the parts he needs to make this offense work.
We'll be back to wrap up the game and the day here on Fox. Hope you enjoyed our quadruple hitter. We'll wrap it all up right after this.
See, agitation stops access.